All right. It's been a minute, guys. It has definitely been a minute. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me loud and clear. That would be helpful. Go ahead and stop the music here. All right. Man, after the week that I've had, it's definitely time to crack a cold one. Goodness gracious. All right, let's get this crap off the screen real quick. I don't even know if anybody's in the stream right now. All right, there we go. What's going on, guys? Finally got my camera sorted out, and luckily my computer is okay. So just a little bit of what's been going on this week. It has been kind of crazy for me. I had to go to the courthouse to get like papers notarized and stuff like that. And it was like a disaster. Like I called them and they said, "Oh yeah, sure. It's just notary. Sure. Come on in." And then like it turned into this like big ordeal where the person that was physically there that didn't answer the phone that I talked to previously was like, no, we don't do that. You have to schedule an appointment for it, blah, 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 blah. And it was like this big thing for some reason. So that took like almost my entire day. Like I got there at like 9:30 in the morning. And I was there until like literally 3:00 in the afternoon. Like it was a disaster. I had to leave and get lunch and then come back and still wait. So that happened. And then this week they were power washing my building, and the door that's directly in front of me, like behind, like here's my, obviously my computer screen and my monitor and my camera and stuff. And my computer is on my desk because I've got a really long desk. It's this nice setup. I'll post a picture of it later on if you guys are interested in seeing it. But they were power washing the outside, and my door doesn't seal very well. So when they power washed the door, I literally like so much water, like it was so much water. It was ridiculous. Like I immediately just shut the hard power off for the power strip that powers everything, immediately shut it off, ran to the bathroom and got like towels and like blanketed over like the back of my monitor and my computer and all of that shit until they were done. Cause it was like water everywhere. Like it was really bad. Water did get inside my computer. Luckily, obviously it's okay if I'm here. So that ended up working out really good. But yeah, it's been a week. And then getting my daughter like registered for school and everything. Like it's been a crazy week. So tonight, what I'm doing, I'm going to try one of these. So a lot of companies, in light of the Anheuser-Busch thing, have been coming out with like really good beers. And they know that Michelob Ultra and the Michelob Ultra Lights or whatever are like really good, and they're super popular because they're good tasting beer, but it's less than 100 calories a can, and there's only like 2 or 3 carbs in it. So a lot of people like drinking those. So what Modelo came out with is this. It's called Modelo Oro. So I'm going to try this. 90 calories, 3 carbs per beer. And I haven't tried this before. I'm hoping that it's going to be good, but it's definitely been a week to crack open a cold one, as I just mentioned. So let's see if I can get yeah, that's the nice sound. Hey, you know what? That's actually really good. It tastes like normal Modelo. Like it doesn't taste any different than a normal Modelo. Yeah, that's actually really good. And they're 4% alcohol per volume. That's not bad for like a super light beer. Like that's actually pretty good. Most of the super light beers are like 2.5% or something. It's like ridiculous. You have to drink like a 12 pack to get a buzz. It's kind of dumb. But yeah, no, this is really good. 4% ABV, 90 calories, 3 carbs. Tastes like normal Modelo. I'm happy. Pretty good. All right. Well, moved to a small town. My work has 2 notaries and an electric contracting company. Yeah, I don't know why going to like a courthouse for a notary would be like a big deal, but that ended up being a big deal. So let's kick my chart up to the weekly. And you guys know how I roll. We'll go over the weekly first, and then I'll kind of work my way down. If you guys can, like and retweet the Twitter post or whatever, that always helps me out. most of you guys end up watching these after the fact. But if you are new here and you're watching the replay of this, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you smash the like and subscribe button. That really helps me out with viewership and stuff. Again, normally I do these every week unless like shit hits the fan or I'm on vacation or whatever. But I've been like getting back into the groove of doing these, which is nice. So let's switch over to the chart here. Where am I? There I am. Definitely step laddering up this entire year. And everybody has been like, oh my God, this bear market is terrible. And I still just really do not understand that mentality, considering that literally since the beginning of the year, right here, it's literally been up only with higher highs and higher lows. Okay. Even here, technically, this was a higher high compared to here. So technically, this trend is intact. Everyone's like, oh my God, we're going down. Holy shit, we've come down. Like, what is this from the high? Oh my God, we've gone down 10%. Oh no, the world is ending. Ah. And it's like really funny to me because like in the overall scheme of things, until this low here is, where is this? Exactly 24,800. Until 24,800 is broken, this is an uptrend still. So I mean, if you want to break it down on lower timeframes or whatever, that's great. But the weekly trend is definitely still intact here. Higher highs, higher lows. I'm not seeing anything to be concerned about here, to be honest with you. OBV has been very, very flat through here. That's probably the only thing that would worry me a little bit, is even with this like huge bump up in price here on this one main candle, like the OBV didn't even, like the OBV is making lower highs here, which is a little unfortunate. So that would be the thing that I'm looking at in terms of like, we don't want this low here on the OBV to be broken. But in general, if you really, exaggerate this, you can see that, this is trending down here. So that's one thing that I'm going to be looking at. But overall, everything else is looking good here. Momentum is still bullish. Yeah, sure, it's crossing bearish now, but it's not in bearish territory. So it's not like a disaster. And volume for the most part, I mean, sure, the volume is lower than normal, but that's just because we've been like retracing and moving sideways a lot. So it's not really that big of a deal. The volume is still bullish here. So on the weekly chart, I mean, all is well, in my opinion. That's not clearly not a bear market. I don't know why people are like, oh my God, it's the worst bear market. So where are you getting this from? I mean, even if we look at the daily chart here, like this is still a bullish pattern here. In fact, and I did update this a little bit. This was our July high. This is our new August low. Technically, this is our August high here. So, I could actually, I'll just copy and paste this. Let's make it to the bottom. And this is our August high. Oops. And this is at 30,047. So 30,047. I like to do this on the charts manually. I just remember the levels better. But in general, like you guys know that I drew this this flag a while ago, and we're still in the flag. Like it hasn't been broken yet to the top side or to the downside. That's why I'm saying like, this would have to really break down in a significant way. And these lows down here at our June lows at 24,800, that's the level that would have to break. And there's still another major level of monthly support in here between 26.7 and 27.3 that would also have to break down. So in my opinion, the trend is fine. Like obviously, yeah, it's disappointing. It's moving sideways. It's chopping. It's grinding down slowly and chopping around. So yeah, like it's frustrating. Crypto is, if you're a Bitcoin trader, this has been like very, very boring in here. I'm totally with you. It's summertime. I normally don't trade during the summer. In general, during the summer, unless we're in like a full blown like parabolic bull market, in general, usually the momentum is lower and the volume is lower because it's summertime. People cash out, they go on vacation, they do their thing, they live their life, they go touch grass, and that's just kind of the way it is. Oh man, that beer is so good. Yeah, so still just battling this yearly level here. Okay. big major yearly level. And, you know, there's really not much else to say about that. So let's come down. Well, actually, let's look at what does the volume look like on the daily here? So mostly bearish, but it's like low volume. Like it's not very high volume. That's why it's just grinding and mostly sideways. Even our momentum here, like it's in bearish territory, but for the most part, for the last like almost 3 weeks now, it's just been like flat. Like the MACD lines are right on top of each other. OBV is also, it's just flat, chopping sideways, like just moving sideways. So, I mean, uptrend is still intact. I'm not really too concerned with this. If this, honestly, with everybody shorting this, so many people are going to get wrecked so hard. Like all this needs is like one more sweep to the downside to sweep those August lows. And then this could just rip like really hard. You know, and start pushing up to the July highs, you know, that 31.8 mark. If that happens, then yeah, like this is definitely my next, you know, my next target here is basically the beginning of this is 35K. So that's what I'm really going to be looking for. That would be the measured move on this. So that's what I'm going to be looking at closely. And if you guys have questions or input, you know, definitely let me know. So here's a more in-depth view. We've got this support from way back here when we were in a really tight range, just ping-ponging back and forth. This is still acted as resistance. So this level is clearly, you know, this area here is still clearly resistance. We went up to tap it, closed with, you know, rejected and put in a real big bearish hammer here. And then just immediately rejected, pretty much retraced this whole move. And now we're just chopping sideways. So if you were to measure this out, how much of a retracement was that? Whoa, quite a bit. So we didn't close below the golden pocket, but we swept almost all the way down to the 854 level. So that's actually pretty impressive. But almost the entire move, you know, like 70% of this move was retraced. So not really a good thing, but now we're just kind of chopping sideways here. I have seen some people, you know, propose that maybe we're forming, you know, like some kind of a triangle here or something. It looks, I mean, it's like a perfect triangle. It looks really weird to me. Normally they don't form like that over that short a period of time, you know, like on a 4-hour chart. So it's possible, but, you know, we'll have to see. 4-hour chart again, volume super low. MACD is just flat and right on top of itself. Same thing here with the OBV again. Indicators are just running flat. Normally not that good of a thing. So if we come down to the 1-hour chart, I mean, it just shows you how flat, you know, overall this price action is, right? Just really flat. Very little movement and momentum here. Very little volume, especially, you know, like this week since the beginning of the month. And just mostly flat. I wish that there was like more exciting things to talk about or something, but in general, especially on these lower time frames, it's just very flat here. Like after this run up, it's just dead. Have you had a chance to look into the inverse copper effect? Honestly, I really haven't. Not yet. And I need to because I'm very interested in that. Now, there have been alts that have been moving. Most of the ones that are moving are the ones that I don't trade with like friggin' 250,000 market caps, and just like anybody with like a couple grand can move the price a significant amount. So kind of disappointing there because those aren't really the kinds of things that I like to trade. But let's take a look at the liquidity real quick. What is this? This is on the 7-day aggregating BitMEX, Binance, and Bybit. So it looks like, you know, on this, if we come in and zoom in on this, we did come in and sweep a pretty good amount of this liquidity here, but there's still a pretty big pocket below us to the downside. You know, a low, you know, I said, I think it was last week or the week before, you know, like 28.5, like that's probably going to be the support. Those levels have been being front ran every time that they've gotten tested. It got front ran here, and then we went sideways. We had a run up, and then it got swept again later on, you know, in the day today, and it's still just acting as support in front of 28.5. So not sure if that level gets hit. Maybe if we zoom out to this monthly, we'll have a little bit more clarity here. Ah, man, see, this is the kind of thing that I don't like to see. There's a ton of liquidity on both sides, but right now we're just like literally floating in the middle. So this is kind of a crapshoot. We're definitely closer to this, you know, 28.2-ish level. than we are from the top side. But bears have not been able to keep pushing this down. Like, it just hasn't happened. What does it look like on the 3-month, on the quarterly? Yeah, there's no significant liquidity anywhere near us. And this is where, this is why this level is so important. See this huge level? I mentioned 24K earlier, right? I was like 24.8 or 24.2 or whatever it was. That level breaks and it's bad news bears. Like on the weekly chart, like you're talking a weekly macro trend break. Like that would be very bad. And sure enough, there's a massive pocket of liquidity here, something to the tune, does that say 80 billion? 76. Yeah, that says 80 billion. That's like a mind-boggling amount of liquidity. So there are tons of people that are just stacking longs. And this is where they puke, is 28.2. So pretty impressive on that. That is a lot of liquidity. I don't think granted, this is 3 months, so that kind of makes sense because it's a much more longer time frame. But just be aware of that. Like to the top side, not very much liquidity here. Like up here, it's like literally half as much as this is. And actually 80 is here. That's bright yellow, so it actually might be 90 billion. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. That level breaks, that's going to be really bad. It also could be the thing where maybe it doesn't break and it moves all the way down there just to sweep the liquidity, and we actually keep the trend intact on the weekly chart. But time will tell. There's really no way. It's obviously too early at this point. We're so far away from that level now. I can't definitively say, oh yeah, we absolutely sweep 24.2. Like, Jesus, that's like a $6,000, $4,000, $4,000, $5,000 move from where we are. That's serious. Like if we move down $5,000, especially in like a short amount of time, that would just destroy the markets. Normally that kind of thing doesn't happen unless there's some kind of catalyst, black swan event, things like that. So let's take a look at the actual smaller time frame levels. So it looks like, yeah, we moved down and swept a pretty decent amount of liquidity here. There was a big pocket. I'm kind of surprised that this didn't continue cascading, to be honest with you. I mean, like, this is a very thick chunk of liquidity. Like to the short side, there's like these little pockets in here, and okay, there's a bunch of 100Xs directly above us, and then there's this big pocket right here. But normally when you see something happen like that, like look back here, right? Like this is what happened with that big fake out move. Like it was literally a liquidity cascade, right? It was a liquidation cascade. So like we swept the 100Xs and people came in and they were rushing in, they were buying, pushing it up. And then it continued cascading all the way up to here where this break was in the liquidity. And then it immediately started reversing. And what happened? It cascaded all the way back down and wiped out all of those 100X longs that were just playing that move. And it wiped them all out. Now, what's surprising though, is here, it did not continue cascading down. We chopped sideways, moved to the top, broke some 100Xs, moved back down, swept some 100Xs, and then started creeping down into this thicker batches of like 50X and 25X long liquidity. But it stopped. Like it just did not continue. That to me shows major support that are in this area. Like regardless of how many long liquidations are here, there was tons of buyers here, because I mean, this was a very, very strong reaction. You can see this just on the chart, right? I mean, this was a very strong reaction here. Okay. Huge wick to the downside, very strong reaction back to the top side here. I would be very surprised if this like broke down below 29K from here at this point. And I'd be really surprised if we started closing below the closes of these candles here at like 28,960 or whatever it was. It's just not looking like the bears have the strength to be definitively breaking these levels. Okay. Four times. Once we broke through this here, it's just been support, 4 times in a row. Now, the only downside with that is, as you guys know, the more times that a level of support or resistance is tested, the weaker it becomes. Uh, Normally, you want to start seeing highs like these, start getting broken on these rebounds for some kind of a continuation, or reversal, to like test higher, higher up levels like this and up here. Um, we haven't seen that, which is typically not a good thing, but in general, just these lows, I mean, test them 3 times here, 3, 4 times now. So I want to call it really 3, because on a 1 hour time frame, that's really the time frame to be looking at for stuff like that. So it's really 3 times, you know what I mean, that we've actually tested these levels. So but that's still a pretty decent amount of taps there. So you know, if you're trying to be longing, that might be a good place to do it. Stops below here, below like 28.5 ish. It's pretty good. If you're trying to get into some kind of long position, expecting this to be moving higher because of that, that big flag here on the higher time frame. Who knows? Maybe we actually do come down, sweep this August low, and then start moving back up to the top side here. That would be nice. But just the way that the liquidity just stopped there. Wait, this is the 12-hour? No, it's not. Okay, yeah, that's the 12-hour. There's tons of liquidity above us. There's really just this one pocket here right in front of 28.5. So that, again, that lends even more credence to like, oh, wow, look, 28.5 or whatever keeps getting front ran. There's literally that huge pocket of liquidity there, and then nothing. Like everything at 28.5 and below is support, unless like that physically broke down and there was like a massive kind of cascade or something, and you went down at 28. And then that's where that big batch of liquidity is. But yeah, just really, really surprising. Maybe we'll get some more clarity if we filter out a lot of these smaller orders. Sometimes when you change the granularity, you get a little bit more perspective onto why. Okay, so that kind of makes sense to me. So there was this pool of liquidity that was worth a lot more here, and that's when it stopped. Still surprising though, if you guys see it, this 100x was safe, and it was because he longed on that candle. So it was a fresh 100x position. This guy's position, whoever made that trade here and entered at 28 921 or whatever, and was trying to catch this and trying to knife catch this dip, that printed for that guy. So that 100x long, what was it? 74 million. So like probably 100x leverage or whatever. So that's still a massive position to be taking on a knife catch. But whoever that was, man, their position really printed there. Going down right here, this is probably him scaling out and exiting. But again, there's, since there's no, we increase the granularity, there's really no large significant liquidations anywhere here until his. And if he's averaging out, then this order will end up disappearing. And then you really only have order. Their first ones are down at 28.742. So I think that we end up finding support, whether it's here or maybe a little further down at these equal lows, and then probably moving back up to the top side. So that's kind of where I stand. That's kind of where I stand with that. And that kind of makes sense. I agree with that because of how many times that this was tapped. We'll probably see equal lows here and then end up bouncing hard. But the bears just don't have enough. Like if this was going to continue, this would have continued right away. You know what I mean? Like after we got this big pump of bearish volume and that big cascade here, if the bears were really going to be stepping in, they would have done it here, and they would have forced this price to go lower. And they didn't. They sat around, waited around. We got a little pop of bearish volume, and it literally stopped right here at equal lows. So they're not really doing too much work to make this price go down very much. I mean, this volume is pretty weak in my opinion for the bears. So if you're a bear, you ain't doing your job. All right, so we're about halfway through the stream. I guess at this point, I'll go over some of the trade results from Venom. I am probably going to be releasing the Ethereum version within the next week or two. I'm probably going to tinker with it just a little bit more. It has been trading the live price action with the settings I have on it right now. I feel comfortable with them. However, I think I might tighten up the risk management portion of it just a little bit because of the price difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Um, the percentages aren't the same. You know what I mean? Like in terms of price movements and stuff, it's different just because of the value of the asset. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to tighten those up a little bit, but I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of that. But let's switch over the chart here to the Venom algo, and we'll start back over here. Okay, so this was this was at the end of the month. So we got all this chop, and Venom Algo actually handled it beautifully. It like took some random long here, like pretty much at this like main level of support from earlier in the day. Longed there, shorted almost the top of the move, and then longed basically almost, it tried to catch the bottom. It didn't catch the exact bottom, but it longed about here. So this was a win. This was a win. This was another win. And then that short was also a win. And this long was disappointing here. So it basically, this one closed out at break even. And rightfully so. I understand why the algo flipped here. And it was because it was such a massive quick buyback. And then we got this candle here with a ton of sell volume. So it ended up shorting right here. And unfortunately, before it could take profit and before it reached the limit where the stop loss stare kicks in, the price action just ripped to the top side. And unfortunately, this did hit the max stop loss level, which fucking sucks because literally right when it got stopped out here at the very top, the price reversed. Of course. So that was actually a pretty significant loser there. That's actually the first time in, I think, over a month. Actually, yeah, I think it's over a month, or a month and a half, something like 45 or 60 days, that has happened where a position has physically taken the full loss on a trade. So since then, it pretty much did not do anything all through here. The price actually was really, really choppy. And it longed a little bit too early here. I do think that this can easily come back and at least, like prevent drawdown and be coming back into profit here. Obviously, we'll have to see. Going into a weekend with generally lower volume, sometimes that's a little bit harder. But, there's been tons of trades that this algo has taken that were in drawdown for like a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And most of the time, it either comes back and it at least closes at break even, so that's not a loss, or those trades turn back into winners. So I've got full confidence in the algo. The users have full confidence at this point. I mean, it's been through the rigors. I believe there's like maybe 40 or 50 subscribers to this algo at this point. I'm not sure, but I have to check. A lot of people are subscribed to this because it's proven and it's been taking some seriously good trades. I mean, even back here through this chop when it took these, where was it? This little set of trades back through here. I mean, this was a very quick, rapid pace. I mean, what was this? This was 1, 2, 3. That's 3 positions. It took 3 trades in a day. So that just goes to show you like how often this will trade. Like if the price is really volatile, it'll trade that many times because it's on a 5-minute chart. So it took 1, 2, 3 positions in a day. 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. Well, yeah, technically 4 positions in a day. And all of those were winners back to back to back. So that was very, very impressive. And then this one, like I said, was basically break even here, closed at basically the same point that it opened. And then, the rest is history. It took that big loss and then it kind of sat flat through here and it entered a long. Yeah, it entered this long a little bit too early, but again, nothing is perfect. I am going to keep an eye on that, but at the end of the day, it's not really worth changing all the settings for the entire algo. just for the sake of like one trade, right? Or like one or two losses. Cause like in the long term, I mean, this thing has just been absolutely wrecking. I mean, 3-to-1 profit factor, 26% profit, 46 trades, max drawdown 5% or whatever. I mean, that's really good. And this only goes back what? This is all live. So this goes all the way back to, when was this first one? 524. So, I mean, that's seriously good. And this is on spot. If you're 2x leveraged, obviously these would be higher than that. This would be almost 180%, or whatever. And this would be like almost 60% or whatever. Obviously the max drawdown then would also double and it would be like close to, a little bit over 10%, but even still really good. I think that is probably going to come back from this trade. Obviously, yeah, like once in a while it has a small loss. You know what I mean? Like it'll take a loss like that. So this was the last trade that I mentioned that when it took a full 3.5% loss. The losses are capped at 3.5%. So if you're trading on spot, the most you're ever going to lose is 3.5%. If you're trading on 2x, it's 7 and so on. But yeah, that's the max that it'll lose. Obviously, it's winning a lot more than it's losing. And this launched back in May. I think the total net profit from May, it's much higher than this. I think it's around like 45 or 60%. And the max drawdown is actually lower. I think it's down to like 4.5 or something. It's like 1% lower. And obviously like the closed trades is like double that. But let me know in the chat. Do you guys want to see a sneak preview of the Ethereum version that I have? I posted some preliminary results of it. I think it was last week. That I posted. But if you guys want to see it, I mean, I'm going to show it anyway, but let's take a look at it. We'll go the ETH test. Oh, sneak preview. I'm working on an AVAX version. Yeah. So much alpha. Ooh. Hold on a second. There's a lot of shit I need to take off the screen. Let's not dock shit. I know all you dgem programmers are going to like try and like pause the video or take a snapshot of that just so that you guys can try and see what I'm doing. Good luck is all I can say to you. Yeah, let's take all that off. Okay, sorry about that. All right, here we go. So what are the results right now? So again, this goes back to, it's actually performing slightly better than the Bitcoin version. The net profit is way higher. The closed trades is about the same amount. The percent profitable is, maybe 6% higher. Profit factor is doubled and the max drawdown is like 0.25. It's like 0.25% lower. But yeah, in general, I mean, this back test goes back, I think, to about the same amount. It should be the same. It should be the same amount. Go to the list of trades here. Yeah, 524. Okay. So not too bad. Let's take a look at some of these trades. Again, this version is not live yet. I'm planning on making it live soon. Let's see. Longed here. Took a very tiny loss. Shorted. That was a winner. Took a long. I'm not sure if this would have taken partial profit or not. I shorted. So even if it didn't, that was a break even. That turned into a win. This long was a win. This short was a win. This long was a win. This short was a loser, but not by very much. I know it looks like it would be a lot, but when you actually measure it, because the 5-minute time frame, it's actually not that much. It was less than 1%, basically 0.5%. So with fees, like maybe it would have been like 0.75%. Not too bad. But this long was a win, basically erased that loss. This short was another win. So that would have totally wiped out that one loss. And then this long, see, this version of the algo did not short in the middle of this. Like it didn't short here and then lose. It didn't do that at all. It stayed in the long position. And then when it reversed, it closed out the long in profit right here. So that win would have been probably like 1% or so. Where was it? Where's the arrow? Here. Yeah, about 1%. So not too bad there. And then it's been staying flat through all this chop. So it's performing very well. Let's go back a little bit here. See, this would have been one of its losses, but it waited to short until the initial move happened. And then immediately, like it closed it out, like immediately, like it knew it was going to keep going. So it stopped there, which is funny because the trade would have came back to at least break even anyway. So instead, it just took a tiny loss or whatever. I think that's, how far do these go back? Oh, okay. Goes back pretty far here. So let's take a look at these. I guess we'll start from here, right? So this is back in June. Took a long, stayed in the long, took partial profit on the long, and then shorted. Won the short, took partial profit on the long, stayed in the long anyway, closed and flipped short. That short held through a lot of chop and drawdown, but it ended up being a win. This long was a win. That short was a win. This long was a win. That short was a win. That long was a win. This short took partial profit, and then it came back and exited in the rest of the position in profit as well. It looks like this short and this long was basically break even. It was like a very, very tiny loss, like less than, it's like 0.1% or something, like very, very minimal. And then this long, even with this drawdown, it didn't get stopped out, and that ended up being a win. This short held for a very long time with a lot of drawdown and ended up being a win anyway. This long, again, held through a ton of drawdown and ended up winning. So that short that long was a win, and then this short was a small loss, and then it stayed flat until over here. Looks like this was that was very close to break even, but that was a loser. This short was also a win. A lot of very choppy, crazy drawdown here. And see, and this is why I want to say that I probably need to tighten up the risk management, because on this short, like around in this area, this should have taken partial profit and then closed the position, like in profit, like on this rebound. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm saying I need to tighten up the risk management a little bit. But in general, the way that it is right now, it's doing good. I just think I need to tighten up those limits a little bit and bring in where the partial take profits are and stuff to make it just a little bit better. This was a break-even trade. This short was a win. This long was a win. This short was a win. Long was a win. This short was a loser. That short was a loser. That's like the first loser that it had in like 3 weeks of trades. This long was a very tiny win. Here's another one where it's like this short should have taken partial profit like here somewhere. You know what I mean? And then it should have gotten stopped out like over here and then longed. So this is something that I would probably fix. Like that's too far from the short to take profit, and it still didn't even take profit down here. So that I know that partial take profit needs to be moved in a lot tighter here, so that it could have maximized profit on this trade instead. So this one triggered it, but see how far this position had to go before it triggered that? Had to go almost 3%. So I think it's at like 2.5%. So I could probably bring it down to like 2.5 or 2 and, like 2 1/3 or something. But that was a winner regardless. And then that's the current price action. So not really too bad. I mean, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I love hearing feedback. I mean, obviously this is, let's see, this has been trading the live price action since here. Okay. Since the 20th. So here. So all of this from before was backtest, and then I haven't touched the settings. And from this short on the 20th, all of this has been live price action. I do that as a courtesy now. I know that a lot of Astrobit members, where these algos are released, more information on all that stuff in the description below if you guys are interested. For the Bitcoin version, you can still get 50% off your first 2 months with code BING50. That code's only going to be valid, I think, until like the end of this month or something. So make sure that you guys hop on that. But anyway, I do that as a courtesy for Astrobit people because they don't like the back tests look all awesome. And then a lot of people subscribe to the strats, and then the strats just don't trade the live price action like the back test did. And so that's why I like to take my time with these releases, just because I do it as a courtesy, because it's like, like I want people to spend their money on something that's going to make them money, not spend money on something and then it goes live, the back test looks great and you get all hyped up for it. People spend their money on it and then they're paying a monthly subscription for something that's supposed to be making them money in the long run, but it ends up losing them money like in the very short term, like when the algo is released. I don't like doing that. It kind of hurts brand reputation. It kind of just hurts your own reputation. And like, I just don't want to be really dealing with that. You guys know that I pride myself in as much transparency as I can possibly give you. That's why I'm physically showing you, okay, here's the Ethereum version. It's been running since the 20th. Here's what it's done. And I can show you guys like, okay, these are the results that it's really done for real live price action, not just, oh yeah, check out this algo. Here's the backtest results. And then I go to release it and it like doesn't like, I don't want that to happen, like that's kind of shitty. I don't want that to happen to you guys. That I don't want you guys to spend your hard-earned money on something and then you're all hyped up for it and then it ends up shitting the bed or something. Like that's kind of scummy. So I don't want to do that. I know that a lot of users on Astrobit are like, they just are fed up with that. Like they will not subscribe to an algo that has not been trading live for a while and has like live results. Hence why tune in on these streams. I'm showing you, okay, here's what it's been doing, since the 20th. And, we're going to take it from there. So, yeah, let me know in the description, what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, is it something that you're interested in? Are there other pairings that you would like to see the Venom algo for? I already mentioned I have an AVAX version. That is definitely still a work in progress. Hold on a second. I don't want to dox the stuff like I did before. Let me check. Oh yeah, I got like everything and its mother up. Yeah, see, so this one definitely needs more tuning. I'm not even going to bother showing you this. The percent profitable is 74%, but the drawdown is like 15%. And it needs to be definitely finely tuned. So I'm not even going to bother showing you that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. We got like 10 minutes left in the stream. If you guys want me to take a look at dollar, if you guys want to take a look at NASDAQ, pretty much anything. I mean, shoot me a message. Let me know if there's something that you guys want to see specifically, and I'll go over, maybe one or two more charts real quick. But other than that, we can just kind of shoot the breeze. I can finish my beer and call it a night. Man, these are so good. It's like really refreshing. It's not like, obviously it's like a lighter beer or whatever, but gold standard light beer. Whatever. They're good though. And I'm studying for all my certs. Look at the size of these fucking books that I have to study. Look how thick that bitch is. 700 pages of stuff for my A+ cert. And I already know all this stuff. I mean, like I build my own computers and troubleshoot shit with people, but I don't have the cert. So I'm doing my due diligence and reading through the whole book. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to go for the better one and get the Security Plus one. That's another like 500 pager. So probably in the next 2 months or whatever, I'll be done and have both of these certifications and be on my way. Go back and get a normal 9-to-5er. I'm starting to phase out of doing like freelance work and stuff like that. I still do it, and I'll do it for, like Astrobit or Astrobit clients, and obviously like my own stuff and myself or whatever. But in terms of that being like my main business anymore, I'm just kind of, phasing out of that. Copper NAS 100 or Copper BTC. Nick is like the copper pro over here. Yeah, we can do that. Bring it up on a split screen. Sure. So Bitcoin, I have copper on here. Here's gold. I thought I had it on here. Guess I don't. Excuse me. Copper. There we go. Blink. Little head and shoulders reversal here. These on the same time frame? Oh, they're not. What do you know? 27th. 7th. This had much more significant downside before Bitcoin did. And then it popped also before Bitcoin did. And then retraced before Bitcoin did. When did this dump on Bitcoin start? 8.4? So on 8.4, oh man, Bitcoin didn't really start dumping until like 1830. And this started dumping like right at the beginning of the day. Like this was going way down. And Bitcoin didn't start dumping until much later on. Yeah, this was definitely dumping before Bitcoin did. Yeah, so it's like a 3-hour. It's like it's delayed. It's like copper's like in front of Bitcoin by like 3 or 4 hours. That's interesting. It's not necessarily uncorrelated. It's just the swings on copper are way more drastic than Bitcoin's is, but this is like telling you the direction before it happens on Bitcoin, which is pretty interesting. What else did you say? NAS 100. So when did this dump button start? 1645 on the 4th, right? Yeah. Yeah, even on NASDAQ, this was like a lot before, like it started dumping a lot before the NASDAQ did too. This started dumping here, like before midnight. NASDAQ was still just chopping sideways here. So this gave indication that NASDAQ was going to come down beforehand. I don't think it probably gave any indication through all of this stuff back here. No, not really. 31st. Oh, well, no, it still did. NASDAQ was literally flat up until the 1st. And this was like pumping and then flipping over on the 1st. And then it started coming back down. So on this open, it nuked on the 1st. Where was open here? Oh, I mean, open had already, pre-market had already occurred, and this was already nuking. So this gave credence to like, holy crap, it's going to nuke on open. It just kept going down and down and down. But the move on copper was a lot more volatile than NAS was. But obviously this is an index. That's why that, copper's fucking what, I guess by ounce 380. or whatever. It's not very much. Let's zoom out here. Let's see. Look back to May. Here's May. So this was extremely inverse correlated all through May. That's bizarre. That's really bizarre that it was so inversely correlated like that until this pivoted on the 24th. 24th was here. And then it was correlated all through June. Till the 22nd, which was here when it was chopping sideways. So this foreshadowed a dump, but it didn't really, it kind of did the same thing that the NASDAQ did. Like it dumped, but it, you know, it was just like, okay, it's going to hit support here or whatever, major support here. And then kept going. So this is when it became correlated again. NASDAQ pumped, copper pumped. This is July now. Copper pumped. NASDAQ also pumped. And now it's getting all like funky wonky again. 719. 719 was a low. And this was a high. The NASDAQ dumped, copper pumped. The 20th. And then it just kind of went, yeah, this, man, it's a really weird kind of correlation. It's not even like it's more correlated or anti-correlated. It's more like, that's really bizarre. And I totally just realized that I didn't have my screen shared during any of that, like an idiot. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. It's pretty much the end of the stream anyway, guys. I'm gonna look more into this. Like it's just really, it's so bizarre how like sometimes it's correlated, sometimes it's not, and especially with Bitcoin, like it's predicting, like it's foreshadowing large moves. It's foreshadowing them because this pump on copper started at like 745. And that it didn't occur for Bitcoin. Wait, hold up. Wait, no, Bitcoin went up first. This was still dumping. Yeah, so it's like this whole move up was basically this move down on Bitcoin. But more recently, these moves matched. Right? Yeah, because now this is the 5th. In here. That's so weird. Wait, what the fuck? Why is it not showing the 5th on here? On copper. 3rd, 4th, 4th, 6th. What happened to the 5th? What, is TradingView broken? What the hell just happened here? How? Why was there no, why was the 5th not there? Okay, I'm not, am I fucking high? 4, What the fuck? Excuse me? What is going on here? Like, I'm not crazy, right? Like, this says the 4th, and then it says the 6th, and there's no... Is TradingView busted? Like, I'm not going crazy, right? Like, am I retarded? Here's the 3rd, here's the 4th, 6th, 7th. What the fuck? 2nd, 3rd. Here's August, that's the 1st. 31st. 28th. Yeah, very confused. Why is this missing days? Am I fucking high? Am I retarded? What's going on? Oh, markets are closed on Saturday. I'm dumb. Oh my God, I'm fucking stupid, guys. Wow. Yeah, so that tells you the kind of week that I've been having. Okay, I think that's a good point to end the stream. I'm fucking retarded and was like looking for days that futures are closed on Saturdays. I'm an idiot. I don't trade on weekends. That's why I thought I was going like fucking crazy or something for a second, but it's all good. Whatever. Anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around. If you guys are rewatching this, make sure hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. Check out all the links in below in the description. Again, all that stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel and stuff. High Block Capital links for that are in there. Obviously, my website and the VENOM algo and all that stuff. So stay updated with all that stuff. Make an account with Astrobit, and then you can have access to the Discord and everything. And that's pretty much where I post the majority of my stuff is in the Astrobit Discord. I don't have my own, and I don't have a Telegram or a WhatsApp or any of those things. If you see any of that stuff, please, please, please report it. It's fake. It's a scam. Don't do it. Don't buy anything or give them any personal information. It's definitely not me. If you see anything like Telegrams or Discords or whatever with my logos, I don't have my own. So that's definitely 100% a scam. And please let me know about it if you ever see that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's it for the stream, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. Again, Modelo Oro sponsorship soon. I wish. But anyway, it was a good stream. These are also very good. I highly recommend them. Tastes like Modelo, except like without like a million calories and shit in it. So it's really good. So on that, cheers. Have a good weekend. I hope that you guys, obviously be safe and, have a good weekend and all that. And until next time, I will see you guys then. Happy trading.